Greetings, I am Nirvana Sparkle. 2 years ago, at the beginning of Season 4, I began my journey as a newly minted pony to review every episode of the series. As the weeks went on, it became a tradition, and it has become the most watched thing on this channel. Well, now the time has begun again. Welcome to Harmony Kingdom, the third iteration of New 26, and the beginning of Season 6. Most shows, especially American, don't reach this valid number. By the time our journey ends, we will be nearing 150 episodes. But that is not the topic for today. The topic is, of course, the first two episodes, 119 and 120, known as the Crystalling, which ties a lot of episodes together to get us to this point. When we were first introduced to the Crystal Empire back at the beginnings of Season 3, the Crystal Heart was nothing but a mystery. Its power shrouded in mystery, but its effect non-becoming. Now, fast forward 3 seasons later, and the Crystal Heart is back at the center of it. But also, something more happy has occurred. Shining Armor and Cadence have had their first child. A child that is referred to at the end of the episode as Flurry Heart. My personal opinion on the name, it freaking sucks. So instead of using that, I'm going to use the prototype name they had for her, Skyla, which sounds a little bit more appropriate and it rings more true. But as the baby is born, now we find out that the Crystal Empire must take part in a ceremony known as the Crystalling, to give the Crystal Heart a power boost using a crystal formed with the magic of the newborn child. Shining Armor, not getting sleep in days, is doing last minute preparations. But also, Cadence hasn't had sleep in days. Why? Because their new bundle of joy happens to be the first naturally born alicorn. Ironic. And this baby packs an obvious punch, but let me get it out of the way. This baby is cuteness personified. In fact, I'm going to coin a term for how cute this baby is. This baby is so cute, you'll get diabetes of the cute. Cute diabetes. She is really that adorable. And as things go on, it goes from a joyous look at what the baby accidentally does to the main setup of the plot. You see, the little one ends up destroying the Crystal Heart. And, hate to coin a Game of Thrones term, winter is coming. Fast. You see, the Crystal Heart protects the Crystal Empire from the frigid, unbearable northern cold that it's centered around. And without it, well, let's just say we're gonna need some famous Disney movie % if we don't fix it. So it's off to the proud parents and their newly proud aunt to fix the problem, but they can't. Not without a little help from the second plot. You see, this episode has two plots in it. The crystalline plot and the second. Starlight Glimmer, coming right off of the end of Season 5, is now living with Twilight at the big castle as her first student. And Twilight's been making a list and checking it a dozen times for her first friendship lesson. And wouldn't you know it, it's reuniting with her old friend Sunburst, who we find out about at the Season 5 ender. And naturally, as one would expect, Starlight is not looking forward to it. In fact, the entire first episode in this two-parter focuses more on that plot than the A plot. But when things start going awry, so much so that Celestia and Luna use their powers collectively to hold the frigid temperatures back, which would also mark the first time Luna and Celestia have ever done anything constructive, to be honest, in this show. As things continue to spiral out of control, it's oddly enough the rekindling of the friendship that ends up key in saving the day. You see, Starlight thinks Sunburst became somebody after graduating wizarding school. He didn't. Of course, we all know what the time apart did to Starlight as well. And for both of these characters especially, the chemistry immediately shows. Obviously, these two are meant to be best friends, and not just because the plot demands it. The lines between the two come off natural and fluid. And yes, Sunburst does look a little bit like an aging Harry Potter. I know that reference will more than assuredly come up. And he kind of also looks like a young Star Swirl the Bearded, to be honest. It's quite a regal look to be quite frank. I like the design, and I even like the voice as well. It was well done. And it just so happens he's the key to fixing the heart. The crystalline goes off smoothly. The baby gets a name after we hear the first spoken lines of Twilight's parents, known as Twilight Velvet and Nightlight. Gag me with a spoon. God, Hasbro, name your characters better. But if there's one thing, character names notwithstanding, that is much better in this opener, it's the computer animation. It is fantastic. Everything is bright, colorful, and looks fantastic. And even the breakdown and reforming of the crystal heart itself is one of the most impressive technical feats this show has been able to accomplish. And even the little bundle of joy is an actual joy to watch. She's not my baby, but I wish I had one. Little Flurry is an eye catcher right from the get-go. And what makes this season also a bit different is the lack of a future foreshadowing of an overflowing plot. This, much like the Season 5 opener, takes a more small, confined approach, but makes every character in the approach likable. If not for Twilight making some obviously bad decisions. Sorry, honey. Some of these choices you make the poor Starlight are a little grating, but it all turns out well. Well, seeing that Twi's hands-off teaching approach sorta actually works out in the end. And even Twilight at the end of the episode waxes poetic that she may not be cut out for the teaching thing exactly, which still leaves room for growth for this character that, to many people at this point, feels like she doesn't need it. The crystalline moment adds some extensive lore to the already impressive show, and I hope there are more scenes with our newest baby Alicorn as the season continues. Not since last year has a low-key season premiere got me thinking about more questions about the future than answers. But the direct parallel and continuum from the season 5 finale is not only warranted, it is absolute deliverance, and almost puts a nice little tie and bow on the missing parts of the season 5 finale. While the finale may not be as strong as others, I would say this is slightly stronger than the season 3 opener. This one does have some critical moments and doesn't waste time with a bunch of characters and bit players in the act. In fact, there are some nice jokes, but the humor isn't really the star of the episodes here. But it's a fine way to start a season that I hope growth is at the center of it. Which, considering, I think it's off to a nice start. It may not be perfect like the cutie map before it, or as world-saving or plot-defining as the birth of the box in season 4, but there is something to love here. A lot of love. I'm not going to make a pun here, but I am going to end the review by saying this episode gets a 4 out of these two episodes together, because that's how we do two-parters here on the new 26, gets a 4 out of 6 from the scale. Flurry Heart is cuteness personified, even if her name is graining and wrong. The presence of Twilight's parents ties up a nice missing bow, and the direct continuity from the season 5 finale is welcome, with Starburst's character getting all the time that he needs, as well as all the other characters. The computer animation shows a step up. While the plot may be a little small in scale and even smaller than the cutie map, there is a lot to love here. It's not perfect. It's not even among the best of the premieres, but it most certainly will do. Welcome, young one. You are strong. and so is your episode. Until next week, when we welcome the return of Mod Pie. Remember, if you want to keep up, each review will be up 1 hour after every episode ends here on the channel. So, if you're a My Little Pony fan that wants to keep up with weekly episode reviews, come here first for the new 26 Harmony Kingdom. I'll see you next week, and find peace in your own nirvana. And thanks for watching.